Thank you to our final patrons, Strawbones, Red 4765, Midnight Gemlord, Sean, and Artgoon. And a very big thank you to our $25 patron, Alex Ice Rose. Chapter 2, The Revelation. Galen the Great had heard the rumors. Captured goddesses, specifically the Bloody Ellie. She was the reason he had lost Baruha to Endura, so he was more than happy to indulge and believe in the rumors. He couldn't wait for her public execution. As Galen patrolled his territory of the world, waving to the many grey demons who populated the cavernous abyss, a portal opened next to him.
"Hey, old man, report to the castle. We have a meeting," Melascula said through the portal, before closing it the moment after.
"That stupid little... Why open a portal if you aren't gonna let me through?"
Galen leaped away, angrily. "Lady Derriere, I've come to pick you up for the meeting," Monspeed said, finding Derriere and her sister. Derriere turned from the leveled mountainside and nodded, patting her sister on the head and spawning her wings, flying after Monspeed. In another part of the world, Kalmadios stood firm and faithful, watching over the land, when another Kalmadios approached. "Enough games, Grey Road. What brings you to my territory?" The mutated grey demon cackled with a mouth that was not its own. Understood. Come, Lord Meliodas has summoned us all." Kalmadios nodded, and the two left the territory. Aranok, Zeno, and Gother were all with Meliodas, who was sensing around the world for the gathering of his soldiers. Zeldris stood by, watching his brother's back. Chandler and Cusack were also present. Standing above all of them on the balcony of the castle was the Demon King himself. Melascula appeared through a portal, bowing before the royals. Galen landed in next, smacking the young demonic snake over the head before kneeling himself. Monspeed landed gracefully and bowed, while Derriere stomped into the earth and knelt. Kalmadios landed and dropped to his knees, prostrating himself before his rulers. Grey Road arrived, pressing their mass into the earth. Zeno prostrated themselves as well, with Aranok bowing. Gother joined the group, doing his best to bow in his wheelchair. "Welcome, my commandments. Status report of the realms." Galen, the eldest, rose first.
"The Shadow Canyon's under total control. Their booze is getting better too, if you ever want to drop by, Melia, my lord,"
Galen reported, after realizing his place next to the other royals. "The Dark Wilds are calm, my lord. All rebellions have been quelled," Kalmadios reported.
"Giving it to you straight. I had to drop a mountain on him,"
Derriere answered, and Meliodas raised an eyebrow. "To clarify for her, my lord, some vampires within Lady Derriere's twilight domain were attacking the demon civilians, and, in retaliation, Lady Derriere smashed them with a mountain she destroyed," Monspeed offered, and Derriere nodded, causing Meliodas to nod as well. "All is well within the land of Blaze. The craft is improving every day."
"Minor scuffles in the Dark Sea, but nothing a little patience could not handle, my lord," Zeno reported.
"The great draconic mountains are as good as ever. There are new dragons being born as we speak, and the Reds are well behaved," Aranok declared.
"The dark pits are healthy and well fortified. All dimensional rips are sealed," Melascula answered.
"The land of the Endura is well and fine. They seem to know not to leave the territory after two of them died,"
Grey Road reported. "And my institute is running just fine, my lord," Gother declared, and Meliodas nodded. "All right then. I believe you all have heard the rumors." The commandments exchanged glances before nodding, with the exception of 3. "Well, I am here to confirm that the rumors are true. Come forth, goddess scum." From the depths of the dungeon came the 10 goddesses, bound in chains of metal rather than darkness. All the commandments stared at their leader, the blank-faced Bloody Ellie.
"That wench!"
Galen lunged, but Meliodas grabbed his torso and held him back. "Calm yourself, Truth."
"She's the reason my brother-in-arms became a mindless beast. Let me take her head,"
Galen demanded, and Meliodas flared his strength. Galen collapsed and bowed his head.
My apologies, my lord."
"These beings are now tools for our conquest of creation," Meliodas announced. Everyone was in shock to hear this. "I require a volunteer." Derriere willingly stepped forward, and Meliodas nodded at Zeldris, who unchained Elizabeth and unsealed her magic. Ready? Meliodas asked, and Derriere nodded. Meliodas tore off her arm to the shock of all of the commandments. Meliodas threw it back, and the moment Derriere's own healing activated to reattach the limb, Elizabeth raised her hand and released her own healing magic. In an instant, the arm was reattached, and Meliodas, using the same level of strength, could not tear it off. I now require a new volunteer, Meliodas said, and Monspeed quickly walked forward. Meliodas then blasted away the flesh of his right arm. Monspeed sighed and activated his regeneration, but before he could get even a tenth of the way through the process, his flesh was restored, stronger than before by the blanked-faced goddess. My lord, what is this? Have you all ever noticed that on top of their second-rate healing, some goddess platoons seem oddly undying? Meliodas questioned his warriors, collective nods and grunts of affirmation. It's because of beings like the Bloody Ellie and others of her ilk. While most of them are weak as warriors, even the weakest of goddesses excel at healing all species, including all the ones who stand before you, Meliodas declared. Not just physical healing either. Gilthunder, bring forth your beloved. Gilthunder blinked and opened a portal, bringing forth his wife, who he was researching a cure for. The young demon woman rested upon a floating bed. My lord, my apologies for my shameful state before your grace, she remarked, and Meliodas shook his head. There is no shame in weakness. There is only shame in staying weak, Meliodas remarked, and nodded to Elizabeth. Light flowed forth, and the young woman felt her body lighten, and Gilthunder felt tears burgeon at his eyes as she rose, spawning small yet healthy dark wings. Even the deepest sicknesses and curses can be handled with ease. Do you understand what that means, commandments? Clarissa took up residence beside Gilthunder, and all the warriors began to understand. Hold soldiers with unending wounds, healed, Arnok remarked. Beasts made men again, Galen declared, stroking his chin. Yes, that is the power of these creatures who have submitted themselves to our clan. 10 healers, 10 resurrectors, 10 warriors who shall help us conquer creation, Meliodas roared, flaring his darkness as the rest of the commandments roared, ready for battle. However, the power of these 10 is overshadowed by one of them. Step forward, daughter of the gods. Elizabeth stepped forward, calmly. One more volunteer who believes they are worthy of my power, Meliodas said hauntingly. However, Galen the Great was far from scared. Fine then, I volunteer. What is it? Galen, unleash everything. Every last drop of power your body possesses, Meliodas ordered, and Galen understood instantly. This would be his chance. Even with this one here, one loss would be fine. 9 other healers to restore Baruha. One could be sacrificed. Galen roared out, the orb on his chest blazing with magical power, and every commandment watched as the arbiter of truth blazed in the critical over. Steam leaked from his mouth as he loomed over the children of the gods. Goddess, do not slay him. You know what will happen if you do. But you are permitted to defend yourself. Elizabeth nodded. Do your best to slaughter her truth. You have 5 minutes. Begin. Everyone there watched as the battle exploded from their spots, Galen swinging his halberd with enough power to rend the land apart for miles. However, all the force was cancelled out by a simple shield of light. Glowing eyes ablaze with Triskelion looked upon Galen with sheer indifference. The angry demon roared as he began to swing more and more, with more and more of Elizabeth casually blocking and evading every single strike. 5 minutes passed and Galen was breathing heavy. Elizabeth hadn't moved, still staring with indifference at the angry demon. Time is up. Now, because I know this has not convinced you all, everyone, every last one of you, go ahead, strike her down. You have 10 minutes. Every demon of the commandments lunged, and the battle erupted. Elizabeth was forced to dodge and avoid now, defending, flying, blocking. Derriere would come in for a swing, which Elizabeth would duck. only to dance around a stab of Galen's halberd to block Monspeet's hellblaze with a light shield. Greyrold released bugs, only for Elizabeth to speak a few words, and the bugs assaulted the other commandments, who killed the insects with no regard. Calmadios' attacks were dove through as Melascula's portals were evaded, and Zeno's golems were dipped and dodged, with shadow strikes from Arnok being blocked. Even Gother was shocked to find his attacks of light were noticed and disrupted. He had to wonder how this goddess was captured by Arnok and Zeno. There had to be something behind it. "Time is up," Meliodas declared, and all the demons began to heal from their own missed attacks that had nicked each other. However, before they could finish, Elizabeth healed them all. "My warriors, do you remember the invasion of the Crimson Moon?" "Of course, you wouldn't let us forget," Galen snapped with a playful chuckle. "Of course, I encountered the supposed mightiest archangel, and please, could you remind me of what happened?"
"He ran,"
the commandments answered. "And I shall admit, I've encountered the Bloody Ellie before, and I can say this. She dwarfs that foolish beast in might with ease." The group was in shock. "So, my warriors, my commandments, know this. On my command, this treaty ends. No more invasions, no more compromise, no more discussion. We will dominate all of creation." The commandments roared, the concentration of power in the isolated area shaking the very planet. The king watched on, seeing a level of enthusiasm in his son that he hadn't seen ever since before their battle. This was fine, as long as it was restrained. Besides, if the king knew one thing, it would be that no one would be king except for him, no matter what. "Spread the word across the 9 realms. Soon a goddess shall be brought to each realm to undergo anything you command except their own execution. You are to protect these tools and treat them as high-class citizens."
"Wait, my lord, why must we?"
Zeno began. "Anyone who betrays these orders will be executed by me, immediately. As you know, being a commandment is a privilege, not a right. In this world you can lose them both and your life instantaneously. As you should all know." Meliodas completed, and all the commandments nodded. "Now go!" The commandments scattered, leaving the royals and the highest-ranking demons with the goddesses.
"My son, come."
Meliodas flew up to greet his father and knelt before him.
"Explain yourself."
"Zeldris, return them to the dungeons," Meliodas ordered, and Zeldris resealed Elizabeth's magic and took the goddesses away. "My king, I have noticed something about these creatures. When under stress or duress, their magic and their healing is less potent. They will be less useful. If we treat them better, fool the beasts into thinking they have rights and a way to thrive here, their magic will be stronger, and they will be even more loyal. And the goddess force will be all the more dismayed, as their own brethren reject them not out of fear, but out of preference." The Demon King nodded quietly.
"Understood then. I assign you to watch over the Bloody Ellie. As you displayed, you're the only one who can control her."
The Demon King left his son, who rose and went to the dungeons himself. He nodded at Zeldris, who nodded back as he left his elder brother with their most powerful prisoner, the Bloody Ellie. "Tell me everything there is to know about your platoon, now." Elizabeth obeyed, reporting all she knew of her kin, from their levels of strength to their favorite foods. Meliodas took the information and mentally assigned commandments. He went over to the other goddesses and flared into assault mode. He created dark bands from his extended shadow, coating the goddess's wrists. "What are these?" Jalmid asked, and Meliodas narrowed his eyes at her. However, he did answer. "These dark bands are extensions of myself. They may as well be my flesh. I trust my commandments, but this is security. In order to alert me if you are being abused or misused, grab the left band. If you and your commandment are in danger, the right. Do not misuse this privilege, or you shall be slain," Meliodas explained. "I shall be escorting you to your new territories within the hour." Meliodas went back to Elizabeth and gave her bands as well. "You will be my shadow. You are not to leave my side," Meliodas ordered, and Elizabeth nodded. Each of the goddesses one by one was left with a commandment, and the new demon goddess duo returned to the castle. Tell me everything you know about your mission here, Meliodas ordered. Elizabeth relayed everything she knew. Meliodas absorbed all the information and smiled. A year was plenty of time to prepare for war.
And there we go, part 2 of What If Elizabeth Portrayed the Goddess Clan, set in stone. How'd you like this part? Did you enjoy it? Did you think this was an interesting development? Did you like the commandments' reactions and stuff like that? A little extra juicy bits of lore I threw in there, a reference or two, I don't know. I had a lot of fun writing this part. I think the most things I enjoy, or like the things I enjoy to write the most, are character interactions. Like just straight up, hands down, they are the most fun thing for me to write. And the commandments are a really interesting set of characters. So I love writing their interactions, and stuff like this was fun. Obviously, you can tell I'm not necessarily like blazing through the narrative, because due to this being a what if set so early in the story, like literally so early in the story that we barely know anything about this time period, I'm much more focused on character work rather than just boom, 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 plot, plot, plot. And I want to know if you guys enjoy that. Do you like this style of What If? Are you still enjoying it? Did you like part 1? And if you did you like the follow-up to part 1? I will tell you, all these parts are being recorded at the same time in the same day. And they're likely, by the time part 1 is up, I've probably edited all 8 parts that I already have written. So there won't be changes done. So the whole story is already set in stone. I literally already know how it's going to end, and the finale's written. I just need, like I said last time, those 2 intermediary parts. So I hope you guys are excited for the journey. What do you think is going to happen next time? Preparations for war, what could that mean? What's going to really happen to the 4 archangels in this final war? Let me know all that and what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure the little notification bells to miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a page down below in support for as low as $1 $1 month, healing exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off.